Chapter 1: The Invisible Thread. Have you ever heard someone's name echo in your mind, right at the moment they were thinking of you? Have you ever felt a sudden warmth in your chest, as if an invisible hand just reached out from miles away, brushing against your soul? If so, you've already touched the edges of the unseen, the place where love doesn't need words, where energy travels faster than thought itself. That's what we call the 5D connection. It's not something you can measure. It's not a message you can screenshot or replay. But it's the most real conversation your soul will ever have. 1. The unseen bridge between two worlds. In our everyday life, the 3D world, we rely on things we can see, hear, and touch. A text message, a hug, a voice call. We believe communication ends when the phone goes silent or when distance grows too far. But in truth, there's another layer of existence. A 5D fifth-dimensional plane, where energy speaks, emotions translate into frequency, and intention becomes the language of souls. When two souls are bound by a connection as ancient as the stars, what many call twin flames, that bridge between 3D and 5D becomes alive. Even when the human selves walk separate paths, the energy field between them remains awake, constantly sending signals across time and space. Think of it as a silver thread, made of light. You can't see it, but you can feel when it vibrates. When one of you laughs, the other suddenly feels lighter. When one cries, the other senses the ache in their own chest. It's as if your hearts are two instruments tuned to the exact same frequency. No matter how far apart they are, a single note will resonate in both. 2. The moment the universe introduces you. Most people describe the beginning of their twin flame journey as an activation. The moment you meet them, perhaps just for a second, something shifts inside you. Your energy spirals, your intuition heightens, and you start feeling emotions that don't belong entirely to you. It's not obsession. It's not coincidence. It's an awakening of that invisible thread, the 5D line of communication that begins to hum the moment your souls recognize each other again. You might notice the signs almost immediately. You think of them and they appear. You hear their favorite song in random places. You wake up at 3:33 a.m. with their name whispering in your mind. It feels supernatural, but it's really just your higher selves, the timeless parts of you, realigning to continue the conversation that began long before you were born. 3. Beyond logic, beyond time. In the 3D world, distance equals separation. But in 5D, separation is an illusion. You can be on opposite sides of the planet, and yet your souls are standing face to face in another realm, speaking the language of vibration, emotion, and light. You might ask, how can this be real if I can't see it? But think about it. Radio waves, Wi-Fi, even thoughts themselves, they exist beyond sight, yet their effects are undeniable. The 5D connection is much like that, invisible but powerful. It operates through the quantum field, where every thought, every heartbeat sends ripples through space-time. When your energy is in sync with someone else's on that level, those ripples overlap, and what one feels, the other can sense. It's not imagination. It's resonance. 4. The sacred silence between words. There are days when your twin flame goes silent in the physical world. Messages left unread, calls unanswered, doors quietly closed. To the human heart, that silence can feel unbearable. But here's the truth the soul already knows. Silence in 3D does not mean absence in 5D. Because while your ego aches, your higher selves are still speaking. Not in words, but in waves of energy. Maybe through dreams. Maybe through sudden emotional downloads that bring comfort out of nowhere. Maybe through the feeling that someone's hand is resting gently on your heart, reminding you that love never left. In that silence, a different kind of communication begins, one that doesn't depend on language or logic, only on presence. Sometimes the absence of sound is the loudest proof that connection still exists. 5. The purpose of the invisible thread. So why does this connection exist? Why would the universe link two people beyond the physical, and yet keep them apart in the physical world? Because the 5D thread isn't meant to trap you. It's meant to teach you. It shows you that love isn't possession. It's expansion. When you begin to feel someone's presence in the unseen, you start to realize that love was never confined to bodies, words, or relationships. It was always a vibration that lives inside you. Your twin flame becomes the mirror that helps you rediscover that vibration. Through them, you learn how to communicate from the heart, not the mind. How to send compassion instead of fear. How to listen not with ears but with intuition. And in that learning you evolve from a human who loves conditionally to a soul who loves universally. 6. The paradox of distance. Many people think distance weakens connection. But in the twin flame journey, distance is often what reveals it. Because when all 3D forms of contact are stripped away, no text, no touch, no voice, you begin to sense what's truly there. The pulse of energy that never fades. It's like two stars orbiting the same center of gravity, each on their own path yet bound by an invisible force. You might drift in opposite directions, but you can never truly leave each other's orbit. And sometimes the universe keeps you apart in the physical so that you both can strengthen that 5D line first, until your love can hold itself steady even in silence. 7. The moment you realize you're never alone, there comes a turning point in every twin flame's awakening. After months, maybe years of confusion, yearning, and questioning, you finally begin to understand. They were never gone. Every dream that felt too vivid, every random wave of warmth, every time you heard their voice inside your thoughts, it wasn't madness. It was communication. Your higher selves have been whispering across the veil, guiding each other through healing lessons and self-growth. Each synchronicity was a breadcrumb on the path of reunion. Each pang of emotion was a signal from the soul saying, I'm still here. Keep going. And in that realization, something softens. The need to chase fades. The fear of loss dissolves. Because you finally understand there was never anything to lose. Love in its truest form doesn't depend on time or space. Just is. 8. A whisper from the universe. So tonight, when the world grows quiet and you find yourself thinking of them again, don't fight it. Don't analyze it. Close your eyes. Breathe. Feel that subtle current moving through your heart. That warmth, that tingle, that sense of peace, that's the invisible thread. Alive, radiant, eternal. Send them a thought of love, not longing. A whisper of gratitude, not grief. And know that somewhere, somehow they'll feel it. Because love spoken in the language of light always reaches its destination. 9. Closing reflection. This is the mystery of the 5D connection. It doesn't promise instant messages or quick replies. It invites you into a sacred dialogue between souls, one that continues even when the human world goes silent. And once you've heard that language, you can never unhear it. Once you've felt that resonance, you can never forget it. Changes you. It reminds you that every relationship, twin flame or not, is an opportunity to communicate with the universe itself, to love beyond limits, to speak through energy, to remember that even when bodies sleep, souls keep talking. So the next time you feel that invisible pull, trust it. It's not fantasy. It's the universe reminding you. Connection doesn't end where sight does. Because in the 5D realm, where love is light, and souls remember, you were never really apart. Chapter 2: Understanding the 5D frequency. Before we dive deeper into how twin flames communicate beyond the physical, we first need to understand where that communication happens. The realm we call 5D. It isn't a place you can travel to on a map. It isn't a galaxy far away. It's a frequency, a state of consciousness that already exists within you. The fifth dimension is not a destination. It's a vibration. 1. From 3D to 5D, a shift in perception. To understand the 5D frequency, we need to first look at the 3D, the world we wake up in every morning. The 3D, or third dimension, is the physical reality of form. Bodies, objects, time, logic, cause and effect. It's where you send a message, wait for a reply, count the hours, measure distance, and live through contrast, love and loss, presence and absence. It's the classroom where the soul learns through experience. But the 5D, fifth dimensional, realm functions completely differently. It's not about time but timelessness. Not about separation but oneness. Not about doing but being. In 3D you love through conditions. In 5D you love through vibration. In 3D you try to understand love. In 5D you become love itself. 2. The vibration of love. Everything in the universe, from your heartbeat to the stars above, is made of energy vibrating at different frequencies. The denser the vibration, the more solid and visible it becomes. The higher the vibration, the lighter, subtler, and more expansive it gets. The 5D frequency is the vibration of unconditional love, pure, radiant, beyond fear or control. It's what mystics call Christ consciousness, unity field, or simply home. When your soul starts to rise into this vibration, you begin to see life differently. You stop reacting to pain and start feeling it as energy to be released. You stop chasing love outside yourself and start recognizing that it was always within you. That's when 5D communication becomes possible, because only love can translate love. The soul doesn't speak words, it speaks energy. 3. The science behind the soul. If this sounds mystical, think again. Quantum physics has already shown that everything is connected. Particles light years apart can still affect each other instantly. A phenomenon called quantum entanglement. It means that once two energies have interacted, they remain linked beyond space and time. Twin flames are the soul's version of that entanglement. Two sparks originating from one source, mirroring and reflecting each other even when incarnated in separate bodies. Their communication isn't limited by the brain. It happens through the field of consciousness that both share. So when you suddenly feel their emotion, or hear their name in your thoughts, it's not imagination. It's physics of the soul, vibration meeting vibration. 4. Symptoms of the 5D activation. The transition into 5D awareness often comes with what many call ascension symptoms. It's your body learning to hold higher frequencies of energy. You might experience sudden bursts of emotion for no reason, intense dreams or déjà vu, tingling sensations, pressure on your crown chakra, or waves of heat and cold, periods of exhaustion followed by surges of inspiration, a longing for solitude and quiet. These aren't random. They're signs that your energetic body, your light body, is awakening to the 5D bandwidth. It's as though the universe is tuning your instrument so you can finally hear the symphony that's been playing all along. And once you're attuned, you begin to pick up signals that others don't: telepathic impressions, emotional echoes, intuitive guidance. You begin to feel life instead of analyzing. 5. The twin flame mirror effect. When one twin flame starts vibrating at 5D, the other begins to feel it too, even unconsciously. It's like tuning forks: strike one and the other starts humming at the same note. That's why when you raise your vibration, through healing, meditation, forgiveness, your counterpart often reacts in mysterious ways. They might suddenly think of you, dream of you, or experience emotional release without knowing why. You are not controlling them. You are mirroring them. The connection is built on energetic resonance, not manipulation. Every act of self-love you perform is an invitation for them to rise as well. Every time you choose peace instead of panic, the signal between you strengthens. That's the beauty of the 5D connection. It teaches you that love is never about convincing someone to change. It's about embodying the change so that they can feel it too. 6. The collapse of 3D patterns. As you begin to hold 5D frequency, your old 3D patterns start to break down. Relationships, jobs, habits, and even beliefs that no longer match your vibration will fall away. It can feel chaotic, like your entire life is collapsing. But what's really happening is energetic realignment. You can't communicate in 5D while still anchored in fear, guilt, or control. So the universe removes whatever keeps you heavy. It's not punishment, it's purification. Imagine a radio antenna filled with rust. To receive clear frequencies, you must first scrape off the layers that block the signal. That's what shadow work and emotional release are for. Only through that clearing can the true 5D dialogue between souls unfold clearly. Heart to heart, light to light. 7. The subtle signs of 5D communication. Once you're attuned to this higher vibration, you'll start noticing small yet powerful signs. Emotional synchronicity. You feel joy or sadness at the same time without contact. Sudden calm after turmoil. You sense they're sending love from afar. Telepathic nudges. You just know what they're thinking or doing. Number patterns: 1111, 2222. Gateways reminding you of alignment. Energetic warmth. Pressure or tingling in your heart space when you think of them. These are not coincidences. They are energetic confirmations, proof that you and your twin flame are tuning into the same radio station of the soul. 8. Living between two worlds. The challenge of this journey is learning to live between two realities. Your human self must still function in the 3D world, work, relationships, routines, while your spiritual self explores the 5D frequency. At times, you'll feel torn between logic and intuition. Your mind may question everything. Am I crazy? Is this real? But as your energy stabilizes, you'll realize the answer is simple. Both worlds are real. The 3D is your stage. The 5D is your script. Together, they create the full movie of your souls. Evolution. Your task isn't to escape one for the other, but to integrate them. To bring 5D awareness into 3D living. To make heaven touch earth through every act of love you express. 9. How to tune into the 5D frequency. So how do you consciously step into this vibration? Here are some guiding principles, not as rigid rules but as gentle invitations. Presence. Slow down. Breathe. Notice sensations in your body. The now moment is the gateway to higher consciousness. Heart coherence. Focus on feelings of gratitude, compassion, and love. These emotions naturally raise your vibration. Meditation and silence. Quiet the mind's noise. The soul's language is subtle. You must be still to hear it. Energetic hygiene. Spend time in nature. Avoid negativity and protect your energy field from chaos. Self-honesty. Admit your fears, your ego patterns. 5D communication requires transparency with yourself first. Service and creativity. Every act done from love amplifies the 5D field. Express your light in the world. When you live in this way, the line between human and divine blurs. You start to sense that you are not trying to reach 5D, you were always there. You just forgot. 10. A world within. Imagine this. You are sitting in your room alone. The lights are dim. Your phone is silent. Yet your heart feels full, peaceful, radiant, warm. You smile for no reason. And in that exact moment, somewhere across the world, another heart smiles too. That's 5D. A world not of matter but of energy. A realm not defined by space, but by connection. In that field, nothing is truly lost. Every thought of love becomes a wave that touches everything else. Every healed emotion uplifts the collective vibration of humanity. And that's why the twin flame journey is not just about two people. It's about all souls learning to remember that communication was never limited to words. You are part of that awakening. Every time you choose love over fear, every time you listen to your intuition instead of your doubt, you expand the bridge between dimensions. You are not ascending to somewhere else. You are remembering what you've always been, light. The 5D frequency isn't out there. It's the song your soul has been singing quietly since the beginning of time. And when you finally stop to listen, you'll realize you've been communicating beyond the physical all along. Chapter 3: The Language of Souls. There's a language that doesn't use words. A voice that doesn't come from the throat. A message that doesn't travel through air, but through energy. This is the language of souls. The way twin flames communicate when words fall silent, when distance stretches too far, when logic fails to explain the invisible pulse between two hearts. It's the most intimate conversation you'll ever have. One that takes place not through your mind, but through your vibration. 1. Beyond words, beyond noise. In the 3D world, communication depends on sound and sight, talking, texting, touching, writing. But souls have no tongues, no ears, no eyes. They speak through frequency, through emotion, through pure intent. You might not hear your twin's voice, but you'll feel their thoughts brushing against your consciousness. You might not see them, yet your dreams replay scenes that never happened and somehow feel more real than waking life. That's how souls speak. Not through sentences but through sensations. Not through explanation but through knowing. It's a communication that bypasses logic entirely. Straight from heart to heart. 2. The 3 sacred languages of 5D communication. The 5D realm offers 3 main channels for soul dialogue: dreams, emotions, and telepathy. Each acts like a frequency band in the radio of consciousness. And when you learn to tune into them, you begin to understand that silence was never silence, it was a different kind of conversation all along. Let's explore them one by one. 3. Dreams, the meeting place of souls. Dreams are not just imagination. They are portals, spaces where the conscious and unconscious merge, where two souls can meet beyond the limits of time and space. When you dream of your twin flame, it's not just a dream. It's your higher selves choosing a neutral ground to exchange energy, to communicate messages, or to offer comfort when 3D contact is impossible. In those dreams you might talk, touch, reconcile, or simply be together. You might wake up with tears on your cheeks or a peace you can't explain. That's not random. That's soul memory. That's healing taking place in the higher dimension. For example, one person dreams that their twin hugs them and says, "I forgive you." When they wake up, the guilt that haunted them for months feels lighter, gone, even. And days later, the physical twin reaches out with the same sentiment, unaware that the energy exchange already happened in 5D. Dreams are the rehearsal rooms of the soul, where what is meant to manifest in the physical begins first as energy. So the next time you dream of them, don't dismiss it. Ask, what emotion did it leave behind? Because that emotion is the message. 4. Emotions, the waves of communication. If dreams are visual messages, emotions are energetic ones. They're the raw frequencies the soul uses to speak when words would distort the truth. When one twin flame experiences intense emotion, grief, joy, longing, peace, the other often feels it too. It can appear as a sudden shift in mood, a wave of sadness that doesn't seem yours, or a burst of happiness out of nowhere. That's the emotional bridge between you. You might wake up one morning, feeling drained and confused, only to find out later that your counterpart went through a painful experience that day. Or you might feel your heart expand for no reason just when they finally make a breakthrough in healing. This is not coincidence. This is energy resonance. Two frequencies vibrating in unison, just like tuning forks. But it's important to remember, feeling your twins. Emotions doesn't mean you're supposed to carry them. Empathy is a channel, not a burden. When you sense their pain, send light. When you feel their chaos, breathe peace. You don't have to absorb. You can transmute. That's the power of 5D communication. It teaches you to love without losing yourself. 5. Telepathy, the silent conversation. Telepathy between twin flames isn't like hearing someone's voice in your head. It's more subtle, a whisper of intuition, a knowing that arrives without words. You think of them, and suddenly a song plays that describes your exact feeling. You decide to text them and they message you first. You feel a hand on your heart while sitting alone, and tears fall before you realize why. That's not your imagination, that's energy. Synchronization. Telepathy happens when both souls are attuned enough to translate vibration into awareness. It might appear as thoughts, visuals, sensations, or even physical signs like ringing in the ears, goosebumps, or warmth in the chest. It's a dance between two frequencies that recognize each other instantly. Because no matter how long you've been apart, the energy signature of your twin flame is unmistakable. You've heard it before you met them. You'll feel it even when you're miles away. And you'll recognize it again when you both return home to the same vibration. 6. The challenge of interpretation. One of the most confusing parts of 5D communication is learning to interpret what you receive. Not every thought or dream is a message from your twin flame. Sometimes it's your own subconscious processing emotions. So how do you tell the difference? Here's the key. Messages from the soul always carry peace. Even when they reveal pain, they feel clear, not chaotic. They come with love, not fear. If a thought feels heavy, obsessive, or anxious, it's likely coming from ego. But if it arrives with warmth, gentle clarity, or sudden understanding, it's from spirit. Discernment is everything. 5D communication requires emotional maturity to know what's yours, what's theirs, and what's divine. Remember, you're not here to decode every signal. Like a puzzle, you're here to evolve through the awareness those signals bring. 7. When the message is silence. Sometimes even in 5D you'll feel nothing. No dreams, no signals, no emotional waves. That too is communication. Silence means integration. The universe is giving both of you space to absorb what's already been shared. Think of it like an echo fading after a song, not absence, but completion. The connection is still there, resting, recalibrating. In those moments, the best thing you can do is trust. Love doesn't disappear. It simply quiets so you can grow in peace. 8. The harmony of vibration. When you and your twin start aligning more consistently with unconditional love, 5D communication becomes seamless, effortless. You no longer send love, you are love. You no longer ask for signs, your life becomes one. You no longer doubt what you feel. You trust the energy as truth. This harmony is what ascension feels like, not perfection but resonance. Two souls vibrating in sync with the frequency of Source itself. And here's the most beautiful part. Once you reach that state, your communication affects more than just the two of you. It ripples out, uplifting others, healing collective energy. Your union becomes a lighthouse. Your vibration becomes a prayer. Your love becomes language, not just between you but between humanity and the divine. 9. Practice. Listening to the soul's voice. If you want to strengthen your awareness of 5D communication, practice listening like this. Quiet the mind. Sit in stillness. Close your eyes, breathe deeply. Ask your soul to speak. Not through words but through feeling. Ask one clear question. For example, what does my twin want me to know today? Don't force an answer. Just observe what arises. Trust the first impression. The ego analyzes, the soul whispers. The first emotion, image, or sentence that appears is usually the message. Ground. Afterward, journal, walk, or touch the earth. Integrating high-frequency communication into the physical keeps you balanced between worlds. The more you listen without expectation, the clearer the signal becomes. 10. The eternal conversation. At the end of the day, 5D communication isn't about receiving constant messages or proving a mystical bond. It's about remembering that you are never disconnected. Even when no dream appears, even when telepathy feels silent, even when emotions grow faint, your souls are still in dialogue. Because communication at that level isn't something you do, it's something you are. You are both expressions of the same source energy, speaking to itself through love. And that conversation never ends. So the next time you sense their energy, smile. You're not imagining it. You're hearing the voice of eternity, the whisper of the divine saying, love has never stopped speaking. You just remembered how to listen. You see, your souls have always known this language. The only reason it feels mysterious now is because for lifetimes you've been listening to the noise instead of the music. But once you remember how to hear the silent song, you'll realize that love was never lost in translation. It was always speaking in the language of light. Chapter 4, Dreams, the meeting place of souls. There's a place between night and morning. A realm where the mind dissolves and the soul finally speaks. In that world, your eyes are closed, yet you see everything more clearly than ever. This is where twin flames meet when the physical world cannot hold them. Not in messages or memories but in dreams, the sacred meeting place of souls. 1. Where the veil becomes thin. Every night when you fall asleep, your consciousness leaves the dense vibration of the 3D world. The body rests but the soul awakens, traveling freely through higher dimensions, unbound by time or form. Dreams are not random stories stitched by your brain, they are dimensional bridges. And for twin flames, these bridges become portals where healing, reunion, and communication take place long before they manifest in the physical. You may have noticed it yourself. You see their face as if it were right before you. You feel their touch, their voice, the warmth of their embrace, so real that when you wake up, you can still smell their scent or feel tears drying on your cheeks. That isn't fantasy. It's the soul remembering. It's love visiting you through the language of the unconscious. 2. Why souls choose dreams. Why do twin flames communicate through dreams? Because the dream state is neutral ground. When you're awake, the conscious mind, filled with fear, logic, and ego, creates static. You doubt, analyze, overthink, and block the subtler frequencies of spirit. But in sleep, the walls fall away. You become pure awareness. And in that openness, your higher self can meet your twin flame's higher self in the 5D realm. Dreams become a sacred classroom where lessons, healing, and divine guidance unfold without resistance. That's why many twins experience major emotional releases after certain dreams: forgiveness, closure, understanding, or renewed hope. The soul uses the dream world as a rehearsal for what will later bloom in reality. 3. The different types of twin flame dreams. Not all dreams are created equal. Some are mere reflections of your subconscious mind, while others are energetic meetings on the 5D plane. Let's explore the types that often occur. In twin flame journeys, a healing dreams. These dreams are deeply emotional, often revisiting painful memories, misunderstandings, or past life wounds. You might find yourself arguing, crying, or reconciling with your twin. When you wake, you feel lighter because the emotion was released in the dream realm. It's not punishment. It's therapy for the soul. Each tear shed in a dream is an energetic cord untangled. B. Reassurance dreams. In times of doubt or distance, you may dream of simple yet powerful moments. Walking hand in hand, laughing together, or silently gazing into each other's eyes. These are gentle reminders from the universe. The connection is still alive. They stabilize your energy when faith begins to waver. See prophetic or future timeline dreams. Some dreams seem oddly specific. You see places, conversations, or events that later occur in the physical world. That's not coincidence. It's the higher self showing you glimpses of potential timelines. The 5D field exists beyond time, so your soul can access future possibilities to prepare your heart for what's coming. D. Astral encounters. These are the most vivid of all. You might feel physical presence, touch, kiss, or even the sensation of energy merging. The emotion is overwhelming, almost euphoric, and upon waking, you know it wasn't just a dream. It was an astral meeting. A moment of energetic union when your vibrations align perfectly for a brief time. 4. How to recognize a true soul dream. So how do you distinguish a genuine soul-level dream from a subconscious fantasy? Few signs. The dream feels more real than reality. The emotional intensity lingers long after waking. You gain new insight or peace rather than confusion. The message feels loving, even if the imagery was intense. Your intuition immediately whispers, that was them. A 5D dream leaves a frequency imprint, not just a memory. It doesn't feed obsession. It nurtures understanding. 5. The psychology and the metaphysics. Modern science tells us that dreams are just the brain processing memories. But what if the brain is only the receiver, not the source of those transmissions? Quantum physics already hints at it. Consciousness is non-local. It isn't trapped inside the skull. It interacts with a field that transcends space and time. So when you dream of your twin flame, it's entirely possible that your consciousness temporarily tunes into the same energetic wavelength as theirs. In that moment, both of you are online in the quantum field, co-creating an experience outside the physical body. It's not romantic illusion. It's science meeting spirit. 6. The power of emotions in dreams. Dreams speak the language of symbol and feeling. Words are rare there, but emotions are magnified. If you wake from a dream feeling sorrow, it may symbolize a collective release between you both. If you wake up peaceful, it's a sign of alignment. If you wake up confused or triggered, it might mean that old wounds are resurfacing to be healed. The trick is not to analyze the story of the dream, but to honor the emotion it leaves behind. Because in the 5D communication system, emotion is the message, not the plot. So instead of asking, why did we argue in the dream? Ask, what emotion did my soul need to express so that love could flow again? That's how you translate the 5D dialogue into healing in 3D life. 7. When your twin dreams of you. Sometimes you're not the dreamer. You're the visitor. You may feel a pull to sleep earlier, an overwhelming wave of exhaustion, or sudden warmth in your heart before bed. Those are invitations, your twin's higher self reaching out through the astral. The next morning, they might message you saying, I had the strangest dream about you last night. You'll smile because deep down you already knew. In 5D, both souls co-create the experience even if only one remembers consciously. This mutual dreaming is proof that love doesn't depend on awareness, only on energy alignment. The heart remembers what the mind forgets. 8. How to prepare for 5D dream. Communication. You can't force these meetings, but you can open the doorway consciously. Here are gentle ways to invite connection before sleep. Energy clearing. Meditate or visualize light washing over your body, releasing tension or fear. The cleaner your energy, the clearer the dream channel. Set an intention. Before sleeping, whisper, "If it's for our highest good, let our souls meet in peace tonight." Intention sets the frequency. Trust does the rest. Keep a dream journal. Record even fragments. Over time, patterns emerge, colors, symbols, emotions that guide your understanding. Protect your energy. Surround yourself with golden light or call on divine protection. Not every dream is sacred. Grounding ensures you connect through love, not fear. Remember, the purpose isn't to chase the dream, but to align with love so that the dream naturally unfolds. 9. The lesson behind every dream. Every dream between twin flames carries one message at its core. Love is still communicating. Even if the dream was painful, it's guiding you toward wholeness. Even if it was sweet, it's reminding you of what already exists beyond distance. Even if it fades upon waking, its vibration remains in your energy field, quietly shaping your healing journey. Dreams are not escapes, they're mirrors. They reflect where your souls are in the process of reunion. 10. The dawn after the dream. When morning comes, the veil closes. The dream fades. You open your eyes, return to the ordinary world, but something has changed. You move through the day with a sense of calm. Maybe a song feels familiar. Maybe the air seems gentler. Maybe your heart beats in rhythm with someone else's, far away. That's the residue of the meeting. A reminder that love visited you while the world was sleeping. And as you sip your morning coffee, you might wonder, did they dream of me too? The answer is simple, maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But the souls remember, even when the minds forget. Because that's the beauty of 5D communication. It's not bound by memory. It's written in energy. So tonight, when you close your eyes, don't just fall asleep. Fall inward. Fall into the place where time dissolves and only truth remains. Trust that your soul knows the way to the dream, to the meeting, to the message. Because love never sleeps. It simply changes form. And sometimes, it waits for you in a dream. Chapter 5. Emotions. The waves of connection. Emotions are the tides of the soul. They move in cycles, sometimes gentle, sometimes wild, always purposeful. For most people, emotions seem to belong to one body, one mind. But for twin flames, emotions are shared oceans. When one wave rises, the other feels the current. When one heart aches, the other ripples with the same vibration. This is not imagination. It's resonance, a language spoken through feeling. And when you learn to listen, to ride those emotional waves without drowning, you begin to understand the true art of 5D communication. 1. The emotional bridge between souls. Every emotion is energy in motion. Emotion. It's a frequency, just like sound or light. When two souls are energetically connected, that emotional energy travels through the shared field like waves through water. You've probably experienced it. A sudden heaviness in your chest, only to discover later that your twin was going through pain. A burst of joy for no reason, and then realizing they had just made a breakthrough or forgiven someone. That's the emotional telepathy of twin flames. A bond so deep that the energy of one becomes the reflection of the other. But here's the paradox. It's both a gift and a challenge. Because to feel so deeply is to walk the fine line between empathy and overwhelm. 2. How the energy exchange works. In the 5D realm, emotions are not hidden, they're transparent frequencies. Imagine two tuning forks placed side by side. Strike one and the other begins to vibrate even without touch. That's what happens between twin flames. Each soul holds a vibrational signature that's uniquely theirs, yet perfectly complementary to the other. When one energy shifts through love, fear, pain, or joy, it sends a wave through the field that both share. You might not always recognize it consciously, but your body does. The heart races, the stomach tightens, or the tears come without warning. Your nervous system becomes the receiver, translating the signal of their emotion into physical sensation. You are, in essence, feeling their frequency through your own instrument. And just like an instrument, the more tuned you are, the clearer the sound. 3. The blessing and the burden. The beauty of emotional connection is that it keeps you aligned even through separation. When words cannot reach, emotion becomes the messenger. Yet it can also feel unbearable, especially when your twin is trapped in shadow energy, anger, grief, guilt, or denial. Their pain seeps through the connection, and you might mistake it for your own. This is where many twin flames begin to feel lost, confused, or emotionally unstable. They ask, "Why do I feel like this? Am I going crazy?" You're not. You're simply standing in the crosscurrent of shared emotion. But here's the secret. You were never meant to absorb those emotions. You were meant to transmute them, to take pain and turn it into light, to become the alchemist of energy that both heals and stabilizes the connection. 4. Recognizing which emotions are yours. Learning to differentiate between your feelings and your twin's feelings is a crucial part of mastery. Ask yourself, did this emotion appear suddenly without a clear cause? Does it feel foreign to your usual state? Does it fade after you send compassion or light? If yes, it might not be yours. It's likely an echo from the shared energy field. But rather than analyzing or labeling it, try this. Pause. Breathe. Feel. Imagine holding that emotion like a child in your arms. You don't need to fix it, just love. Because the moment love meets emotion, the vibration begins to rise. And what rises in you rises in them. 5. The mirror of emotion. The twin flame journey is not about mirroring faces. It's about mirroring feelings. What triggers you in them is what remains unhealed in you. Their avoidance might reflect your fear of abandonment. Their silence might reveal your need for control. When an emotion flares up, anger, jealousy, longing, it's not punishment, it's revelation. It's the soul saying, "Look here. This is where light needs to enter." That's why the emotional connection can feel so intense. It's designed to expose every unhealed layer of your being. Because only when both souls release their emotional baggage can the energy between them flow freely. It's not about fixing each other. It's about becoming whole side by side through reflection. 6. When emotions become telepathic. There are moments when this connection transcends empathy entirely. You'll know what they're feeling without any proof. You'll sense their frustration, their fear, their tenderness, even before they act on it. It's not fantasy. It's emotional telepathy, a deeper layer of 5D communication. Sometimes it arrives as a physical sensation, a sudden warmth in the heart, a tingling on the skin, or tears forming with no reason. Other times it's a whisper of emotion. In the background, subtle but persistent. You can't always stop it, but you can channel it. Instead of resisting the feeling, breathe into it and imagine sending back peace. Say in your heart, "I feel you. I understand. I send you love." Energy always seeks balance. What you send in love always returns multiplied. 7. The danger of emotional entanglement. But be careful, empathy without boundaries turns into entanglement. If you constantly absorb your twin's pain, you deplete your own energy and lose your center. You must learn to observe without ownership. To say, "I feel your sadness, but it's not mine to carry." Ground yourself in the physical. Touch the earth, drink water, move your body. These acts remind your energy field that you are here in your body, not lost in theirs. 5D connection doesn't mean dissolving into another person. It means harmonizing while maintaining individuality. Love in 5D is not merging to lose the self. It's expanding to embrace both selves as one consciousness. 8. The art of transmutation. So what do you do when emotions flood you? The sadness, the rage, the longing? You transmute. Transmutation is the sacred act of taking dense energy and transforming it into light. You do this through intention and breath. Acknowledge the emotion. Don't resist it. Resistance amplifies energy. Breathe into it. Imagine the breath as light entering your heart. Send it upward. Visualize the heavy emotion rising, turning golden, dissolving into peace. And with gratitude, whisper, "Thank you for showing me where healing was needed." Each time you do this, the shared field becomes clearer, lighter. You're not only healing yourself, you're healing your counterpart through the quantum thread that unites you. That's the silent service of awakened love. 9. When emotions become guidance. Once you master emotional awareness, every wave becomes a messenger. A sudden sadness might mean it's time to release the past. A burst of joy might confirm alignment. A deep calm might signal reunion energy approaching. The emotional body is the compass of the soul. It always points toward truth. You no longer ask, what are they feeling? You ask, what is this emotion teaching me? That's when 5D communication matures, when emotion stops being a storm and becomes a song. 10. The ocean within. Ultimately, the emotional connection between twin flames is not about two hearts colliding. It's about one ocean learning to love itself through two waves. You are not separate. You are movement within the same sea. And when one wave crashes, the other carries the foam back to shore. When one retreats, the other advances. Together you create rhythm, the eternal ebb and flow of divine love. So the next time your heart aches for no reason, or joy floods your chest unexpectedly, pause and smile. Whisper softly, I feel you, because in that moment you are participating in the oldest language of the universe, the dialogue of emotion. Love speaking through waves, light speaking through water, the soul speaking through feeling. And as you breathe, through that connection you realize, you were never drowning. You were learning to swim in a larger sea. The journey isn't about controlling what you feel. It's about letting the feeling reveal who you are becoming. Because every emotion, yours or theirs, is an invitation to love more deeply, forgive more freely, and rise more fully into the frequency of peace. That is the gift of 5D emotion. To feel not as a human surviving, but as a soul awakening. Chapter 6 Telepathy, the silent conversation. There are moments when words fail. When your throat tightens, your heart aches. And yet you know they heard you. Not with ears. Not with logic. But through that invisible line that hums between your souls. This is telepathy, the art of silent conversation between twin flames. A dialogue without language, a bridge beyond distance, where thought itself becomes vibration. 1. What is telepathy really? To understand telepathy, forget everything you've learned about speech. Speech is vibration made dense, sound shaped by air. But before it becomes sound, it already exists as thought, a form of energy. Thought is frequency, travels faster than light, unbound by physical space. In the quantum field where all consciousness connects, a clear thought charged with emotion can reach another mind instantly. Between twin flames, this connection is amplified 1,000-fold. Their energetic codes are mirror images, tuned to the same wavelength. So when one sends a signal, even unconsciously, the other receives it like a gentle whisper in the chest. You think of them and they feel it. They miss you and you suddenly turn your head toward the window, sensing a pull you can't explain. That's not coincidence. That's telepathy, the soul's Wi-Fi powered by unconditional love. 2. The many forms of telepathic connection. Telepathy between twin flames doesn't always appear as hearing voices. It's subtle, layered, and often misunderstood. Here are the ways it most commonly shows itself. Thought transmission. You suddenly receive a thought that feels foreign yet familiar. It might be their phrase, their tone, their humor, but it arrives from nowhere. B. Sudden urges or actions. You feel an impulse to send a message, check your phone, or listen to a certain song, only to find they did or said something similar at the same time. C. Energetic sensations. A wave of warmth in your heart, a hand-like pressure on your shoulder, tingling along your spine. These are energetic touches sent through intention. D. Emotional echoes. You feel comforted, soothed, or loved at random, because their soul just reached out energetically to hold you. E. Symbolic signs, songs, numbers, feathers, or phrases suddenly appearing in perfect timing. These are telepathic confirmations, the universe translating energy into matter. Telepathy isn't always literal communication. It's vibration, speaking through experience. 3. How it feels when telepathy activates. The first time you experience twin flame telepathy, it can be startling. You may suddenly hear their name inside your head as if whispered. You might sense them standing behind you even when you're alone. You might feel a surge of love so intense it brings you to tears, and you'll swear they just thought of you. Then comes the moment of doubt. Is this real, or am I imagining it? That question itself is part of awakening. Because telepathy isn't meant to prove anything. It's meant to teach trust. Trust in intuition. Trust in unseen connection. Trust in the heart's ability to recognize energy beyond logic. You don't need to convince your mind. You only need to feel and observe. Because the more you surrender to the possibility, the clearer the signal becomes. 4. The mechanics of 5D telepathy. In the 3D world, words are slow. They require time, sound, and interpretation. But in 5D, communication is instant, transmitted through the heart chakra and interpreted by the higher mind. Your heart is the transmitter. Your intuition is the receiver. When you send a loving thought toward your twin, the electromagnetic field of your heart expands, up to several meters in the physical, but infinitely across the energetic plane. The frequency travels through the quantum field, seeking its harmonic match, your counterpart. They feel it not as words but as emotion. Then their mind translates that emotion back into awareness, an image, a memory, or a sudden sense of comfort. That's how telepathy works. Emotion, energy, awareness. It's communication in its purest form, untouched by distortion. 5. Strengthening the telepathic bond. Telepathy is not a trick. It's a practice of energetic alignment. To strengthen it, you must raise your vibration and quiet your mind. Here are key steps. Heart coherence meditation. Breathe into your heart. Feel gratitude and love. This creates a clear frequency channel. Silence and stillness. The soul speaks softly. You must quiet the mental noise to hear it. Intention setting before sleep or meditation. Say in your heart, I am open to loving communication for the highest good. Release expectation. Don't demand a reply. Telepathy flows best in freedom, not control. Grounding in the body. Move, walk, or dance after strong telepathic sessions to balance the energy. Remember, clarity is more powerful than effort. You don't need to shout energetically, whisper with pure love, and the universe amplifies it. 6. The two-way conversation. Many twins assume telepathy is one-sided, that they're the receiver, not the sender. But in truth, it's always two-way. Even when you think you're only feeling, you're also transmitting. Every thought, every emotional shift, every act of healing sends a ripple through the shared field. That's why personal growth is the strongest telepathic message you can ever send. When you heal your wounds, they feel relief. When you forgive them, they suddenly feel lighter without knowing why. When you choose peace, you anchor the entire field in harmony. Telepathy at its highest form is not conversation, it's co-creation. You're not just talking. You're building a new energetic reality together. 7. The illusions and pitfalls. Yet, telepathic connection can be misunderstood. It's easy to confuse inner dialogue, fear, or ego projections with true soul communication. Real telepathy feels clear, calm, and compassionate. Ego telepathy feels urgent, obsessive, or demanding. One expands your heart, the other drains it. If you ever doubt the origin of a message, ask yourself, does this vibration carry love or fear? The soul never manipulates. It never begs or blames. Simply is. So if a message feels heavy or controlling, release it. Pure telepathy never violates free will, it invites. It doesn't impose. 8. The role of separation. Ironically, telepathy becomes strongest during physical separation. Because when the noise of the 3D world fades, the soul's voice becomes audible again. You may stop texting or seeing each other, yet feel their energy more vividly than ever. You might sense their emotions, their inner battles, their love still pulsing through the silence. That's not punishment. It's the universe training you to rely on higher communication. When the heart becomes your antenna, you no longer need constant proof. You know they're there. And that knowing becomes the foundation of unshakable faith, the key to reunion. 9 sacred exercises in telepathic alignment. If you wish to practice conscious telepathy, try this ritual. Step 1. Center yourself. Sit quietly. Breathe into your heart. Feel gratitude for your connection, not longing. Step 2. Visualize the bridge. Imagine a golden cord of light connecting your heart to theirs. The light flows freely, warm and soft. Step 3. Send the message. In your mind, speak gently. I love you. I wish you peace. I trust the timing. Release the thought like a feather into the wind. Step 4. Listen. Don't strain. Simply notice any shift, a warmth, a chill, a thought. a lyric, a sudden memory. That's the echo returning. Step 5. Detach. End with gratitude. Say silently, "Thank you, universe, for letting love travel freely." The purpose isn't to get a response. It's to strengthen the bridge of unconditional love. 10. The union beyond words. In the end, telepathy is not about proving a bond. It's about remembering unity. It shows you that communication was never meant to be confined to language. Words can lie. Energy cannot. Words divide. Energy unites. Every time you send love through thought, you contribute to a larger field of harmony, not just between you and your twin, but within the entire collective consciousness. You become part of the silent symphony of awakening souls, learning to speak the same sacred language, vibration. And that's what the universe has been guiding you toward all along, the realization that love is the original telepathy, the first and last language of existence. So when you think of them tonight, don't reach out with fear. Just whisper in your heart, "I see you. I feel you. I love you." Because they will hear it, not in their mind but in the quiet space behind it. And in that silence, two souls will recognize each other again, as if the universe itself just sighed in relief, saying, "Finally they remember." This is the power of 5D telepathy, not control, not proof, but communion. A reminder that even when the world goes quiet, love keeps speaking. And when you learn to listen, you realize you were never talking to someone out there. You were always speaking to the divine within you, reflected perfectly in them. Chapter 7. Why the 5D connection holds you together. You've tried to move on. You've deleted the messages, hidden the photos, buried the memories. Yet somehow in the quiet moments they return. A song plays, a scent drifts by, a pulse of warmth spreads through your chest, and there it is again. That invisible pull. That sacred thread. That energy you can't explain but can never deny. This is the 5D connection, the unseen gravity that holds you together, even when your 3D selves have drifted worlds apart. 1. The invisible bond. Every soul carries a unique frequency, like a song sung only once. In the history of the universe, when two halves of the same soul separate to experience duality, they each carry fragments of that song. When they meet again, whether in this lifetime or another, those frequencies recognize each other instantly. That recognition is not infatuation. It's remembrance. A remembering of unity long forgotten. And even when physical circumstances pull you apart, that energetic signature remains intact. Because love, real love, is not an emotion. It's a field. A magnetic resonance between two divine sparks vibrating at the same eternal rhythm. You can't unmake it. You can only learn how to live with it. 2. When 3D collapses, 5D remains. In the physical world, the 3D reality, everything has limits. Bodies age. Words fade. Relationships change. But 5D love exists outside those laws. It's not limited by geography or time. It's consciousness itself. Infinite, omnipresent, unbreakable. That's why, even during separation, you still feel their energy. It's not because you're stuck or obsessed. It's because the higher aspect of both your souls never separated to begin with. In 5D, you are still holding hands. You are still learning, growing, evolving together, weaving lessons through light. The human selves may resist, run, or retreat, but the souls remain intertwined, completing the curriculum of divine love. 3. The purpose of separation. So if your souls are already connected, why does separation happen at all? Because love isn't meant to imprison. It's meant to awaken. Separation is not punishment. It's purification. Imagine a goldsmith placing raw gold into the fire. The heat doesn't destroy the metal. It burns away the impurities. That's what the universe does with twin flames. It separates you physically so that both can confront the illusions that still block union. Fear, ego, trauma, codependency. Only when both flames burn bright in their own right can they reunite, without consuming each other. So if the universe pulled you apart, it wasn't to break you. It was to refine you, to teach you how to love without attachment, to give without condition, to exist without fear. 4. The law of energetic entanglement. Quantum physics calls it entanglement. Once two particles interact, They remain connected no matter how far apart they move. A change in one instantly affects the other. Your souls operate on the same principle. When you met, your energy fields merged. A permanent resonance was established. Even when distance or silence grows between you, that resonance continues, invisible but unbreakable. That's why you feel them when they think of you. That's why their healing triggers yours and vice versa. You are not imagining it. You are living the science of spirit. The 5D connection is simply the universe reminding you that love is not local. 5. The illusion of loss. Human love stories are written around loss. The breakup, the silence, the absence. But spiritual love is never lost. It only changes form. When your twin pulls away, the 3D self grieves, but the higher self knows. They are still here. Just shifted into energy. They appear in your dreams, in your intuition, in your sudden bursts of peace. You meet in the in-between, the moments when thought slows and the heart opens. What you call missing them is not longing. It's recognition of their presence at a subtler frequency. And when you finally realize that they were never gone, grief transforms into gratitude. Because you begin to see. Distance is just another illusion the soul agreed to experience, to remember unity more deeply. 6. The divine timing of reunion. The universe doesn't delay union out of cruelty. It waits until the connection can hold. If you met before you were ready, your fears would destroy what your souls are destined to build. So divine timing orchestrates separation, healing, and synchronicity. Every delay is actually alignment. When one twin rises, the other is pulled toward balance. When one heals, the energy field stabilizes. When both vibrate in harmony, reunion becomes inevitable, not forced by will but drawn by frequency. Because in 5D, union is not about coming together. It's about remembering you were never apart. 7. The lessons encoded in the connection. The 5D bond exists to teach 5 core lessons. Faith without proof. To trust in what you can't see but always feel. Love without possession. To give freely without expecting return. Presence without attachment. To honor connection while respecting individuality. Compassion without rescue. To love them even when they choose differently. Wholeness without validation. To realize that you were complete even before you met. Each phase of the 5D connection, longing, silence, telepathy, dreams, is a classroom. You graduate not when union happens in 3D, but when love becomes your default frequency in all dimensions. 8. How to stay balanced within the bond. The biggest mistake many make is clinging to the connection as proof of worth. But 5D energy cannot flow through fear or need. You don't strengthen the bond by chasing it. You strengthen it by trusting it. To stay balanced, ground daily. Connect to nature, to the body, to breath. Transmute emotions. Feel their waves but return to your own calm center. Stay creative. Express love through art, service, movement. Let energy move through you, not stagnate. Detach with love. Know that distance doesn't mean disconnection. It means divine orchestration. When you live fully in the present, not waiting, not grasping, you become the anchor of stability. For both souls, the connection doesn't hold you hostage. It holds you steady. 9. The spiritual architecture of love. Think of the 5D connection as a divine architecture. Your souls are the 2 pillars. Between them stretches a luminous bridge of energy. Alive, breathing, responsive. Every act of love reinforces it. Every act of fear clouds it. You and your twin are co-architects, building a temple of light through every lifetime. Sometimes one builds while the other rests. Sometimes both labor in silence. But the structure always stands. Because this is not ordinary love. It's the blueprint of divine union, encoded into the very design of your souls. 10. The eternal thread. At the end of every cycle, after separation, surrender, and countless lessons, one truth remains. Love never leaves. You can change forms, partners, cities, even lifetimes, but the essence remains. Because your twin flame connection is not about a person, it's about a vibration you both carry back to source. That's why you feel them in meditation, in music, in the quiet glow of sunrise. That's why your growth always circles back to love. The 5D connection holds you together not to trap you but to remind you. The universe itself is a web of love, and you are two sparks of the same light traveling that web home. So when the loneliness comes, when silence echoes louder than words, close your eyes. Breathe. Whisper softly. I know you're here. I can feel you. And you will. Because in 5D, where time dissolves and hearts speak in light, there is no distance. Only rhythm. Only resonance. Only the eternal thread, humming quietly between two souls who once were one, and always will be. So the next time you feel that invisible pull, don't resist it. It's not a chain. It's guidance. It's the universe saying, you are still connected. You are still growing. You are still love. Because the 5D bond doesn't hold you down. It holds you together. Until both flames. Remember how to burn as one light. Chapter 8. Maintaining balance between 5D and 3D. You've felt the pull of the stars, the whispers, the dreams, the signs. You've soared high into the 5D realm, touching truths that words can't hold. But then you wake up. There are dishes to wash, deadlines to meet, people who don't understand. And suddenly the magic fades. You wonder, how do I live in both worlds? How do I honor my spiritual connection without losing my footing on earth? This is the art of balance, learning to walk with one foot in the heavens and one foot on the ground. Because true mastery is not escaping the human experience. It's bringing the divine into it. 1. The two worlds you inhabit. You are a multidimensional being. Your soul exists in 5D, the realm of unity, light, and pure vibration. But your body lives in 3D, the physical reality of time, gravity, and limitation. The 3D world teaches you lessons through form, through relationships, responsibilities, and emotions. The 5D world teaches you through energy, through intuition, synchronicity, and love beyond condition. Neither world is better than the other. They are reflections of the same truth, seen through different densities. The challenge is not to choose one but to integrate both. Because ascension was never meant to lift you out of life. It was meant to bring heaven into it. 2. When the 5D takes over. When you first awaken to the 5D connection, it feels intoxicating. You sense energies, see synchronicities everywhere, feel your twins' emotions, maybe even hear their thoughts. It's beautiful, but it can also become overwhelming. You might begin to detach from reality, forgetting meals, neglecting work, withdrawing from friends. The physical world feels too dense, too heavy. You'd rather live in the comfort of signs and soul talk. But that imbalance is dangerous. Because the more you chase 5D sensations, the more your physical vessel weakens, and the connection itself becomes distorted. You were never meant to float away. You were meant to anchor light, to make the unseen visible through your actions, to live as a bridge, heaven touching earth through you. 3. The importance of grounding. Grounding is not a spiritual cliché. It's spiritual survival. Without grounding, your energy scatters like electricity without a wire. With grounding, divine energy can flow safely into form. To ground yourself means to fully inhabit your body, to feel the texture of life, the weight of your feet on the floor, the rhythm of your breath, the pulse of the earth beneath you. Simple ways to ground. Walk barefoot on the earth. Breathe deeply, feeling the chest rise and fall. Eat mindfully real food. With gratitude. Create art, dance, or move your body. Connect with nature, not just with your phone. Each act brings you back into the present moment, where 5D can flow into 3D. Because the truth is, spirit needs form to express itself. Even light requires a lamp to shine through. 4. The illusion of spiritual escape. Many seekers believe that living in the 5D connection means detaching from the material world, leaving jobs, relationships, ambitions behind. But enlightenment isn't about leaving. It's about loving. You're not here to abandon life. You're here to embody it consciously. To take what you've learned from higher realms and apply it to the small, ordinary moments. How you treat others. How you speak. How you handle money. How you face fear. Your spiritual journey is not meant to replace your human one. It's meant to illuminate it. Because ascension isn't an elevator that takes you away from earth. It's a heartbeat that connects heaven and earth through your chest. 5. When 3D drags you down. There will be days when you feel disconnected from the 5D entirely. No signs, no synchronicities, no telepathic warmth, only silence. Your twin might ignore you. The world might feel cold and mundane. In those moments, the ego panics. I've lost the connection. But you haven't. You've simply shifted focus. Think of it like the ocean. The tide doesn't disappear. When it recedes, it's just preparing to return. When the 3D feels heavy, it's an invitation. A reminder to apply what you've learned in 5D here. Patience, compassion, presence, even silence is part of divine communication, the universe asking, can you still love when you don't feel the magic? Because that's what mastery means. Loving without needing proof. 6. The dance of duality. To live. Balance between 3D and 5D is to dance between opposites. Faith and doubt. Spirit and matter. Intuition and logic. Surrender and action. This dance is what gives your soul grace. Because every contrast expands you. When you're grounded in 3D, you gain strength. When you rise in 5D, you gain vision. Together they form the wings of ascension. One wing of love, one wing of wisdom. Without either, you cannot fly. So let yourself be both, human and divine, flawed and luminous, grounded and free. 7 signs of true balance. How do you know when you've found balance between 3D and 5D? Looks like this. You feel connected even in silence. You trust divine timing instead of forcing outcomes. You honor your responsibilities but keep your heart open. You sense your twin's energy, but don't depend on it. You can talk about your spiritual experiences without needing validation. Balance is quiet confidence, the knowing that both worlds exist within you, not outside you. It's peace in action. It's love grounded in reality. 8. The sacred middle path. The Buddha called it the middle way. The ancients called it walking between heaven and earth. In the twin flame journey, it's the art of remaining human while remembering you are divine. You don't have to choose between the two. You can meditate in the morning and handle spreadsheets by noon. You can sense energy and still enjoy a cup of coffee. You can feel cosmic love and still set healthy boundaries. Because spirituality isn't about rejecting the world. It's about redeeming it. Through your presence. Every smile, every act of kindness, every conscious breath becomes a portal of light. You are not escaping the matrix. You are upgrading it cell by cell, choice by choice. 9. How your balance heals your twin. What you balance within yourself, your twin feels too. When you stabilize your energy, the connection stabilizes. When you integrate love and logic, they begin to do the same, consciously or not. Because your energetic field is shared, your calm becomes their calm. Your groundedness becomes their safety. Your self-love becomes their permission to love themselves. That's how real reunion begins. Not through chasing or waiting, but through vibrational alignment. The more balanced you are, the clearer the 5D channel becomes. Union isn't a destination. It's a state of coherence. And coherence starts with you. 10. Bringing heaven to earth. In the end, maintaining balance between 5D and 3D is not about managing two worlds. It's about merging them. When you smile at a stranger, that's 5D manifesting in 3D. When you forgive your twin silently, that's 5D grounding itself in human emotion. When you make art, build, teach, nurture, you're turning light into matter. You are heaven wearing human skin. And the more you live that truth, the more this world transforms around you. Because the purpose of the 5D connection was never to escape Earth. It was to remind you how to bring divine love into human life. So breathe, eat, work, laugh, feel, be fully here, because this too is sacred. The connection between you and your twin flame was never meant to pull you out of reality. It was meant to make reality more luminous. Every heartbeat, every step, every ordinary moment, all of it, is the canvas where the divine paints through you. You don't have to escape the world to live in love. You only have to remember. Heaven isn't somewhere you go. It's something you become. When your soul and your human self finally move in rhythm, breathing as one. Chapter 9, Strengthening the 5D Channel. Soundtrack begins softly. A low hum like sacred chanting under crystalline tones. The voice enters calmly, with gentle authority. The 5D connection is like a bridge made of light, unseen but alive, stretching between two hearts. And though it never truly disappears, It can fade in clarity when fear, doubt, or exhaustion cloud the signal. You can't force this bridge to strengthen. You can only align with it. Because the channel of divine communication doesn't open through willpower, it opens through surrender. In this chapter, we explore how to cultivate that clarity, how to strengthen the 5D bond between you and your twin flame so it flows with love, ease, and trust. 1. The channel is not out there. Most people imagine the 5D connection as something external, like a telepathic wire stretched across the cosmos. But the truth is, the 5D channel doesn't live between you. It lives within you. Your consciousness is the transmitter. Your vibration is the frequency. Your heart is the antenna. When you raise your energy to the level of unconditional love, the channel automatically clears, because love is the original bandwidth of communication. You don't have to chase it or beg for signs. You only have to tune yourself to the frequency of truth. 2. The principle of resonance. Every connection in the universe operates by one law: resonance. Energy flows where frequencies match. If you are vibrating in anxiety, the signal between you and your twin flame becomes static, distorted by fear and expectation. But when you rest in peace, joy, or gratitude, the signal stabilizes, like a radio station finally locked into perfect clarity. That's why inner healing isn't separate from 5D communication. It's the foundation of it. You can't hear the voice of the soul while you're shouting in fear. You must quiet the mind, calm the heart, and let the vibration of love do the talking. 3. Purifying your energetic field. Before you strengthen the channel, you must clear it. Your energetic body is like a river. When debris from stress, overthinking, or emotional pain builds up, the current slows. To cleanse your energy, practice simple rituals daily. Breath work. Inhale light. Exhale tension. Imagine your breath clearing old energy from the body. B. Water rituals. Showers, baths, or even standing in rain resets your frequency. Water carries memory and renewal. C. Smudging and sound. Use gentle sound frequencies or sage to reset the vibration of your space. D. Emotional release. Cry if you need to. Movement, journaling, or art releases stuck emotion, making space for light to flow. Remember, the universe speaks through flow, not friction. When your energy flows freely, you become an open channel for divine messages. 4. The power of heart coherence. Science has already shown that the heart emits the strongest electromagnetic field in the human body, thousands of times more powerful than the brain. This is why true 5D connection happens not through thought but through feeling. To build heart coherence, focus your attention on your heart. Breathe slowly in for 5 seconds, out for 5 seconds. Recall a moment of deep love or gratitude. Hold that feeling until your whole body hums in harmony. This simple practice aligns your heart with the energy of creation. It stabilizes your vibration, clears fear, and broadcasts love through the shared field with your twin flame. Every time you enter this state, you are not just healing yourself, you're strengthening the invisible bridge between your souls. 5. Listening instead of sending. Many people try to send messages energetically, forcing telepathy, demanding signs, or meditating for outcomes. But the 5D channel is not a phone line. It's an ocean. You can't make waves, you can only feel them. When you quiet down enough to listen, the communication becomes effortless. Sometimes it comes as a thought, a sudden warmth, or an intuitive knowing. Sometimes it comes through symbols, a feather, a song, a dream. You are not controlling communication. You are participating in a dialogue of frequency. It's not about effort. It's about receptivity. 6. The energy of unconditional love. Nothing strengthens the 5D bond more than unconditional love. Not longing, not obsession, not control. Unconditional love means loving without agenda. It's saying, I wish you healing, peace, and happiness, even if I am not part of it. When you reach that level of purity, the energy between you expands infinitely, because you are no longer feeding the channel with expectation. You are feeding it with grace. Your love becomes medicine, not demand, a vibration that heals both souls and invites divine timing to unfold naturally. 7. Trusting divine timing. Every twin flame connection moves through cycles: alignment, separation, silence, reunion, all orchestrated by divine intelligence. You strengthen the 5D channel not by speeding it up but by trusting it. When you stop asking when and start saying thank you, the universe breathes easier through you. Faith itself is frequency. When you trust, your energy relaxes, the field clears, and communication flows again because fear no longer blocks it. Trust turns silence into guidance. It transforms waiting into becoming. 8. Raising your vibration in daily life. 5D alignment isn't achieved in temples or meditations alone. It's practiced in the ordinary moments: how you eat, think, speak, and feel. Simple ways to raise your vibration every day. Begin mornings with gratitude instead of anxiety. Speak gently to yourself. Words shape your field. Surround yourself with uplifting energy, music, nature, creativity. Limit drama, gossip, and negativity, they lower frequency. Give without expecting anything in return. Every small act of love keeps your energy in motion. And motion is the lifeblood of connection. The 5D bond isn't built in one grand gesture. It's maintained in 1,000 tiny acts of alignment. 9. The role of meditation and visualization. Meditation is not about escaping thought. It's about expanding awareness. When you meditate with presence, your mind becomes the sky, open enough to let higher frequencies flow through. One simple exercise to strengthen the channel. Sit quietly and close your eyes. Visualize a golden thread connecting your heart to your twin's heart. Don't force anything. Just notice how it feels. With each breath, imagine the light growing stronger, brighter, purer. Whisper inwardly, "May love flow freely between us, guided only by the divine." Stay there for a few minutes, then let go. The goal isn't to hold the connection, but to trust it will hold you. Because the energy you create in meditation continues to ripple through the quantum field long after you open your eyes. 10. Protecting your energy while staying open. As your 5D awareness heightens, you'll become more sensitive to energies around you. Not just your twins, but everyone's. That's why energy protection is essential. Protection doesn't mean building walls. It means setting healthy boundaries. Before sleep or meditation, visualize a bubble of golden light around you. Affirm, "Only energy of love and truth may enter my field." Avoid overconsumption of emotional or chaotic content. After intense energy experiences, ground yourself, walk, eat, or rest. Remember, even light needs structure to shine safely. Your boundaries are that structure, allowing you to stay open without being overwhelmed. 11. The mirror effect of inner work. Every time you clear your fear, your twin feels lighter. Every time you forgive, they sense relief. Every time you love yourself, they feel safe to do the same. That's how the channel strengthens, not through trying to reach them, but through reaching deeper within yourself. The universe is an echo chamber. What you emit in love returns amplified. So the best way to deepen your 5D connection is not to think more of them, but to become more of yourself. When you rise, the channel rises with you, because you are not two radios trying to tune in. You are two notes of the same song learning to harmonize. 12. The silence between notes. Finally, understand this: the 5D channel is not constant noise. It breathes, pauses, it rests, just like the spaces between musical notes. Those silent phases are not disconnection. They are integration. During silence, both souls absorb the lessons of the last exchange. Energy reorganizes, refines, matures. And when the channel hums again, it carries deeper wisdom. So don't panic when communication fades. The universe isn't ignoring you. It's fine-tuning the symphony. Strengthening the 5D channel isn't about trying harder. It's about loving deeper. It's about trusting the current, not fighting it. Because you and your twin were never disconnected. You are just learning to hear the melody of your shared energy more clearly. So breathe. Center your heart. Let love be your frequency. And every time you feel that gentle hum in your chest, know this: it's not a dream. It's not imagination. It's the language of light. And your souls are still speaking. Chapter 10: Love Beyond Dimensions. There comes a moment in every journey when you stop chasing, stop asking, stop searching, and you simply remember. You remember who you are. You remember what love truly means. And you remember that the story between you and your twin flame was never just about two people, it was about the evolution of love itself. This is love beyond dimensions. Not bound by space or time, not trapped in expectation or fear, but flowing endlessly through the fabric of creation. The same love that created galaxies, that lives in every heartbeat, that whispers through every soul, including yours. 1. The illusion of separation ends. When you began this journey, it felt like two worlds, the physical and the spiritual, pulling you apart. You longed, you waited, you suffered through silence. You believed the pain meant distance. But now you see the truth. You were never apart. You were learning the art of perception. The 3D world taught you to believe in loss. The 5D world reminded you that energy never dies. You didn't lose your twin flame. You learned to see them through the eyes of the soul instead of the eyes of the body. The longing was never punishment. It was remembrance. It was your heart, echoing across dimensions, calling itself home. And now that call has been answered, not through reunion in form, but through reunion in frequency. 2. The purpose of the connection revealed. The 5D connection was never about romance. It was about resurrection, the reawakening of divine love within the human heart. Your twin flame came to mirror everything that was forgotten in you. The parts you feared, denied, buried. They came to pull you back toward wholeness, even if it meant breaking you first. Through them you learned that love is not possession. It's presence. It's not grasping, it's allowing. It's not control, it's communion. You learned that love doesn't demand, it simply is. And in learning this, you became the embodiment of what the universe has always been teaching humanity, that love is the only reality and everything else is illusion. 3. The merging of 3D and 5D. Once you understand this, something profound happens. The two worlds stop competing. You no longer see 3D as limitation or 5D as escape. You realize they are two faces of the same coin. Form and essence, matter and spirit, lover and beloved. The body becomes the vessel through which light expresses itself. The mundane becomes holy. The physical act of kindness, a divine ritual. Because when the heart is awakened, every action becomes sacred. You no longer ask, how do I connect in 5D? You live as connection itself, awake, aware, anchored in love. This is what it means to bring heaven to earth. 4. The eternal field of love. In 5D, love is not linear. It doesn't have beginnings or endings. It simply expands. When your twin flame sends you love, it doesn't travel through distance. It awakens the same frequency within you. It's like two candles, lighting each other without diminishing their own flame. And every time your light grows brighter, you illuminate not only them, but others around you. Because love cannot be contained, it radiates. That's how twin flame connections serve collective healing. Your journey becomes a microcosm of the universe itself. Duality returning to unity, the fragmented returning to wholeness. You and your twin are not here to complete each other. You are here to remember completion, and through that remembrance, raise the vibration of everything around you. 5. When union transcends form. Many believe twin flame reunion means a romantic relationship. Sometimes it does, but often union is far greater than that. Union happens the moment you no longer need them to fulfill you, because you've become love itself. It's the peace that arises when you realize, even if we never speak again in this lifetime, I am still whole. That's not resignation. That's liberation. Because now your love no longer seeks to grasp, it seeks to give. You send blessings without expectation. You smile when you feel their energy, not with pain but with gratitude. You honor their path even if it leads away from you because your love no longer fears loss. That's when you know you've stepped into divine love, the kind that transcends all dimensions. 6. The new frequency of love. The twin flame journey isn't just about personal healing. It's part of humanity's collective awakening. We are entering a new era. The age of heart-centered consciousness, where love replaces fear as the organizing principle of life. Your connection, your lessons, your surrender, all of it contributes to this transformation. When one person learns to love unconditionally, the vibration of the planet rises. When two souls unite through energy instead of ego, the collective field expands. You and your twin are conduits, living proof that love can exist without ownership, that union can exist without chains. This is what the new earth is built upon. Relationships born not of need but of resonance. Love not as transaction but as transmission. 7. Living as love. To live in 5D consciousness is not to float above life. It's to infuse life with love. You become the messenger, the mirror, the bridge. You carry the lessons of your connection into every interaction. When you listen without judgment, you extend 5D compassion. When you forgive, you dissolve karmic energy in the collective. When you speak with kindness, you anchor light into 3D reality. Your love story becomes service. Your pain becomes wisdom. Your healing becomes guidance for others still searching in the dark. And slowly the entire world begins to remember, just as you did, that love was never lost. It was only waiting to be seen. 8. The higher form of union. Eventually, you'll reach a point where the 5D connection no longer feels like something between you and them. It becomes the atmosphere you both breathe, subtle, constant, infinite. You won't need signs or telepathic moments to know they're there. You'll feel it in your heartbeat, in the synchronicities that unfold effortlessly, in the peace that never leaves you. Because union is no longer about two souls coming together. It's about one love expressing itself through two beings, moving as one current flowing through creation. And once you taste that state, you realize reunion was never a future event. It was the recognition of an eternal truth. 9. The call to embody light. Now that you've remembered this truth, the journey shifts. It's no longer about waiting for them. It's about becoming what the connection taught you to be. The universe will guide you to share your light through your work, art, compassion, and presence. You'll inspire others to love deeper, to trust their intuition, to forgive. That's how the 5D connection fulfills its divine purpose. It doesn't end with two souls finding each other. It continues as those souls become lighthouses for the world. So ask yourself, how can I live as love today? Every time you choose love over fear, you strengthen not only your own connection but the vibration of humanity itself. 10. The infinite horizon. At the end of this journey, you will look back and realize nothing was random. Every silence, every dream, every heartbreak was the universe carving you into the shape of love itself. The 5D connection was never about finding another person. It was about finding God within you, through the mirror of another soul. And once you see that, the story never truly ends. Because love doesn't end. It expands from two souls to the collective, to the stars, to infinity. You are part of that expansion. You are the light remembering itself. So whether your twin flame stands beside you or walks another path, know this. The love you share will continue to ripple through eternity, transforming everything it touches. Because in the end there are no two. There is only one. One heart, one light, one divine consciousness experiencing itself through countless forms, and smiling every time it recognizes its own reflection. The music swells, strings and piano in harmony, a rising crescendo of light. Narrator, soft final voice. And so, dear soul, breathe. Look around. This world is your sacred classroom. Every person you meet is a mirror of the same divine essence that brought your twin into your life. Every heartbeat is a message from Source saying, you are loved. You are never alone. Love beyond dimensions is not something you chase. It's what you already are. So go live it. Be the proof that heaven can exist here. That two hearts, no matter how far apart, are still one flame burning across the universe. Because in truth, you were never learning to communicate beyond the physical. You were learning to remember that love is the universe communicating through you.